Do you remember the earliest thought you've held in your mind? What was the first thing you became consciously aware of? Some people remember of how they started walking and the cheers of parents that followed. For some others, it was a traumatic experience, one cruelly provided by a human monster or a frightful event. And still others recollect peculiar realizations about the world they inhabit. The earliest thought I can recall is when I was about 5 years old. I was playing with my Transformer action figures and paused for a moment when I was struck with an epiphany. I pondered, what's the meaning of life? Really, you ask? How could a 5-year-old think of such a complicated question? I believe I was playing out a scene in which one of the robots met an alien and was asked who built it. When I tried to improvise an answer for the robot's origins, I realized I didn't know how I would answer that question for myself. Where did I come from? Did I have a purpose? Is there a point to life? But just as easily as the thoughts came to mind, I was quickly distracted by the toys and moved on to play the next scene of the action figure story. At around the age of 9, those same questions crept up again. This time I was determined to answer them out of sheer fun. I figured the fastest way to knowing my present purpose or the point of experiencing the future is to understand the past. Did everything have a beginning? What was the beginning? What happened before the beginning? And how did the beginning happen? Unlike today, when I have the right words to articulate my own thoughts properly, my rationale was guided by instinct and my experience of the physical world around me. I didn't know the technical terms, but I did feel my way around general concepts. Was there ever a moment in your childhood when someone told you to do something you knew you shouldn't do, and you told them you didn't want to do it because it was wrong? Then they challenged you to explain what made it wrong, but you didn't know how to answer them. You didn't have the right words, although inside yourself you knew what was wrong, but you didn't know how you knew, or even how to express why it was that way. That's how it was for me when I was asking myself those questions. I demanded answers of myself without knowing how to answer. Becoming curious about it, I put in more thought to figuring out the answers, all the while being anxious for what response would come of this self-interrogation. Here is that basic thought process updated by my current language comprehension. Does the physical universe have an origin? There are two possibilities. Either the universe always existed, or it had a beginning. If the universe always existed, we would have never reached this present moment. How so? It wouldn't matter how much time passed, 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, 1,000,000,000 years, 1,000,000,000,000 years, an X number of years. This present moment would always be an eternity away from eternity past. If the universe always existed, we would have never reached this moment in time. Therefore, the universe had a beginning. The first question was answered and a second one appeared. What caused the universe to begin? The beginning was the start of everything, including time, space, and matter. Time, space, and matter did not exist before the beginning. Before the beginning, there was nothing, absolute nothingness. Therefore, something that is beyond time, space, and matter caused the physical universe to begin. The uncaused first cause started the universe. For a moment, I thought I was finished, but a third question popped in my head and proved to be more daunting. Is the cause of the universe personal or impersonal? It was strange being struck with the idea that personality would be a factor in the creation of the cosmos. But this came to be a very important detail, not only for the start of physical reality such as rocks, trees, rivers, and stars, but also for abstract realities such as logic, awareness of others, ethics, beauty, justice, and love. I figured that if the first cause was impersonal, then abstract reality would not exist, or at least wouldn't be true. If what we deem personal now did not precede the impersonal, then personality is a man-made illusion. There would be no morals, no meaning, no beauty, and no love. In the end, as Carl Sagan beautifully put it, we're made of star stuff. Nothing more, nothing less. So my mind wandered with the following reasonings. The uncaused first cause is either impersonal or personal. The realization of true abstract reality would prove the abstract to be eternal by a personal first cause. Though it may be near impossible to prove goodness and love on their own merit, it is incontestable that evil and malevolent hatred exist. As evil and hatred exist, we know that their opposite is also true, good and love. I performed the same tests on logic itself as well as on beauty and justice. These abstract concepts are found to be true, thus abstract reality exists truly. Since true abstract reality exists objectively, we may confidently conclude that the uncaused first cause is personal. The next question followed fast. If the uncaused first cause is not an impersonal what, but a personal who, then who caused, or rather created, the universe? It seemed to me that the creator of the universe was a person, not some mindless and unguided force for which science had no method or capacity of ever figuring out. This is where my mind began to run on fumes. Who is the creator? I asked myself. My head was overheating from the nuclear realizations I encountered. Who is the creator? I repeated. This was all too much to take in one sitting. My stomach growled in agreement. Every thought of this mental exercise died down as I recognized a pleasant aroma of chocolate filling the air of my room. My mother called out to me and said that brownies were ready and waiting for me at the table. My preteen existential investigation held no weight against the power of the supreme chocolate chunk fudge brownies. Enlightenment could wait after I've had my fill of dessert. At the age of 11, I became distressed over certain personal problems. I found myself in the clutches of hopelessness and emotional isolation. One of the terrible problems I suffered from was my big mouth. I talked about subjects I didn't understand. I lost the respect of friends when they found out I was speaking out of my rear end. My character was something familiar to that annoying kid from the Polar Express film. I felt alone and unheard, despite the love and support I received from my family. I felt misunderstood, as many of you can relate. As I wallowed in self-pity, I thought about how my creator could help me in my time of need. I requested, in my mind, that if my creator could hear me, that he would tell me something that I needed to hear, whatever it might be, however painful. I wanted to receive some message. Immediately, I was hit with the foreign idea to open the Bible that was collecting dust on my bookshelf. By this point, I've never opened the Bible to read it for myself. I had this weird sense that if the Creator was all-knowing, all-powerful, and ever-present, surely this being would be able to use something, anything, out of a large source of text to communicate to me His will. I did not see this as a sign that the Creator had any affiliation with the Judeo-Christian worldview or its documents. Rather, that He was comfortable with using that religion to communicate with others. I grabbed my New Living Translation Bible and decided to let the pages open themselves randomly. I made a mental deal with this mysterious Creator that whatever verse my gaze sets upon will be the message that my Creator wishes to convey to me. I divided the covers, the pages flipped away to the middle, and my sight fell upon the top right corner. I began to read. Even fools are thought wise when they keep silent. With their mouths shut, they seem intelligent. Proverbs 17:28. The first verse I have ever read in the Bible shook me to my core. I was terrified and excited at the same time. My Creator answered me and went above my expectations. I knew it wasn't a coincidence that this statement was chosen. This sparked my desire to seek out my Creator more and to accept truth in all its glory. Back then, I didn't wish to make the connection that the Creator was the God of the Bible, but at that present moment, I knew that my Creator existed and that He cared for me. Otherwise, why would He have made me in the first place? It occurred to me that the Creator of everything would only create things out of His own desire. He made the universe. Why? Because it was His desire. He made plants, trees, mountains, oceans, and stars. Why? Because He wanted to create those things. He made animals, fish, birds, cattle, cats, and dogs. Why? Because it brought Him pleasure to create those beautiful creatures. The Creator also made mankind, men and women, you and I. Why? Because He takes joy in creating you. You are made in His image. You are a creation that can create. Your capacity to create comes from the Creator's creativity. Your ability to create, to love, and to help others brings glory to the Creator. Few years later, after marking off name after name, deity after deity, and reviewing many religions, ancient and new, I discovered who this mysterious Creator is. How exactly did I figure out the truth of His identity? That story will come in the next video. Thank you for listening.